Hey witches! Welcome back to my salty mess of a channel. Today we're going to be breaking down the official reveal trailer for The Sims 4 Enchanted by Nature expansion pack. You may already be familiar with this pack by now, given how the Sims team has been marketing this one, but I'll try to point out and explain as much as I can if you aren't, because there's a lot to unpack here. Just a note before we start that we will be going through this trailer very slowly and pausing a lot. So if you haven't watched it already, I don't recommend this as an ideal first viewing experience. I will have the video linked below, so you can go watch it yourself and come back for the breakdown. All the information in this video is from the blog post and the pre-order page for the expansion on the Sims website, which I will link down below. There's also some information that was found in the EA launcher for the expansion. So without further ado, let's jump into the trailer. We begin by panning over some majestic trees with a mystical looking house in the background, before moving on to this sequence of this young girl as a very cute little fairy. Look at the tiny wings! We're getting this new circlet, which I think is super cool, and I hope we have other options available to us. Specifically, I'm dying for one made out of greenery. The detail on this new hair is absolutely stunning, I love it. And we also have some new eye makeup. We get a look at this glowing stone, which I assume will be part of some sort of quest line, since the Sims team have been really enjoying doing those in some of the recent expansions. Here's a close-up on the tiny wings, and we have this tiny tree-looking bush thing with growing flowers that we'll talk about more when we see it again later on in the trailer. She lifts off, magic all around her, and then wakes up. It was all a dream. What a vibe. Then we focus on the purposefully most bland living room I've ever seen. It reminds me of me when I only had the base game and didn't understand how to decorate a house. I believe these are all new outfits, and I like the other two hairs that the parents are sporting. She walks away from the parents, and I'm seeing some curtains. Are these new? I can't really remember. She walks into the room and we can see some cute new plant and nature-themed decor on the walls here with a cute new wall hanging plant. Now that we can see her full bedroom, we see she is a plant lady. This new bed is to die for, and I'm getting the impression that the build buy for this pack is going to be Outdoor Retreat Take 2 with some mysticism. We can see the same in this new bookshelf, the wall shelf, the small table, among other things. Here we see her watering her plants indoors, which is actually a new feature coming. There are these new special indoor plants that your Sims can care for. We'll be able to care for harvestable and decorative plants, which I love because gardening is one of my favorite things in game when gardening is not fully broken. Framing this poor girl's depression, we can see this awesome new mirror in the background and see more of the new wall decor coming. I think this was created using the new nature press item, which will allow your Sims to craft decor objects like candles and wall art using treasures they find in nature, presumably through the foraging, which we'll talk about a little later. Her parents talked to her about nature, and we discovered the nature nomad aspiration, which is one of two aspirations coming in this pack. And as they hug, we can see more of the new plants, as well as this cool stand in the corner and these really pretty decorative branches. Then she just kind of leaves. We see a wide shot of one of the neighborhoods, and I adore all the different colored buildings. It makes me hope we'll get some new nice outdoor wall options in this pack. There's a really cool lookout spot with a shipwreck and a nice mermaid statue with some Sims swimming in the water to the left here. This shot shows a huge gnome statue, and this Sim looks like they're praying to it. Is this gnome Jesus? Of course, we're getting another stall, and I can't tell if it sells food or garden gnomes or both. In this next scene, we can see a cool looking tree stump here with a face. Two Sims are hanging out on the ground over here, and on this building we can see some new windows. And I wonder if this is a new roof trim with the fairy lights? We already have tons of fairy lights from businesses and hobbies, but I will never ever say no to more fairy lights, especially in a fairy pack. I think this Sim is using fairy dust, but I don't know what they're doing. This child Sim with another really cute hairstyle is wearing the cutest little fake fairy wings, which I believe will be available for different age groups, including like toddlers and infants. She has some, what I hope are temporary tattoos here, and I'm very curious to know what she's actually doing with this book thing. In the background of this shot, we can see more of the new windows and a new door. This person is being harassed by what I assume are fairies over here, and this lady's just vibing. Go off. I really like this floral mossy bench, and this is a fence with greenery. I'm obsessed. We approach these two digging around in the dirt, with another kid wearing the little fairy wings, and this dude rocking a watering can as a hat. This guy with flowers in his beard finds a fish and then just eats it? Our Sim gets hungry and goes to forage, which is part of the new natural living skill, which I'm really excited to use for rags to riches challenges. Other than fish, it looks like you can find different harvestables and frogs while foraging. Then she eats a frog, but does not like it, since she's probably a noob at the natural living skill. We have a little gnome statue dancing around, maybe enchanted with some fairy dust. Her hygiene gets low and she can bathe in the water, and then when she gets tired, she sleeps on the ground This is all with the natural living skill, which is honestly such a game changer. I'm so sick of finding a bench to crash on in the middle of a random community lot in the middle of rags to riches. She wakes up and you can see some spots on her face, which is a symptom of an ailment, one of the new systems coming in the new expansion pack. I love the town board here. It makes me feel like I should be going to get quests. And we can see a nice new tree wrapped in some string lights. We pass by a place with some pallets of plants and along to this charming little stall. Here's a look at the new Apothecary table, which will allow your Sims to build the new Apothecary skill. This Sim has an awesome hairstyle, and I love the side detail. We'll be able to gather ingredients to get the cures to our ailments, like it'll be a quest objective. I'm not going to lie, this shrub being a spiral gave me hope about spiral staircases, and I feel kind of like a clown. But I'm still holding out some hope. As the ingredients are delivered, we get a better view of the detail in this hairstyle. So cool. The Apothecary gets to work on a cure, and I can't help but notice these really nice new purple plants here. In this shot, we see the Sim eat the cure, and in the background there's this stunning waterfall that I only noticed after a few watches of this trailer. The cure works and the ailment is gone. In the next shot, we get a sample of some more of the new build by objects, including this tree thing, this end table, and a new sink. But I love this little mushroom that looks to also be a shelf. And as a side note, the longer I look at the scene, the more I can't unsee that they used half walls here, and not gonna lie, I feel like they maybe should have given us a new half wall trim because these ones really ruin the vibe. But maybe it's just me. We get another look at build by, and I cannot believe we will be able to make hobbit houses in The Sims. It feels like a dream come true. The new windows, the new door, the vines, I am so excited. We see her sleeping on the ground in a little clearing before transitioning to even more build by. I feel so spoiled. But here we can see the columns, spandrels, stairs, not spiral ones, a new mirror, a fireplace, among many other things. This looks like a new plant, and of course we have a new swing set. I didn't want another swing set, but at least it looks amazing. I literally asked my husband if we could get a swing set the other day, and now this is what I would want it to look like. We go back to the Hobbit house and we see a Sim with simoleon marks on her skin, which is another ailment called simoleon fever. In this shot, we can see this new hairstyle, which I love, especially because it has another option without the headband that we'll see later. She literally coughs up simoleons, and we begin to make the cure for her. I can't get over these cute new clover earrings, and maybe this is a new nail polish? The Sim takes the cure, and look at this tiny plant. The scene changes to this chaos and we get a better look at the new furniture, especially this fireplace, before we learn that the old forager from earlier in the trailer is suffering from the creation impulse ailment, which gives the Sim the uncontrollable urge to create, and I guess also makes them itchy? We see her thinking about the small tree from earlier that she saw in her dream. I believe this is something called the glasswood tree, but I'm not 100% sure. She picks some flowers from it, and side note, I'm obsessed with these glowing mushrooms in the background, and I'm hoping a ton of these plants are not just for debug, because while debug is free, it's super annoying to access in-game. But she's distracted by the fairy house. This shot of the fairy house was teased to us already, but we're finally getting to see it in action. The Sim walks up to the fairy house and we finally get a look at fairies in The Sims 4 after it being teased forever, leaked a while ago, and asked for so long. It looks like they'll be able to go between a smaller form and a full-sized form, which I honestly appreciate. Best of both worlds. Now let's take this all in. Her hair is the same one as the black-haired Sim from earlier, but without the headband. The wings are stunning, and I'm obsessed with the gloves and these shoes. We see some other fairies come into the shot so we can get a look at loads more creative Sim options. They all have different wing shapes, and I really like this one that looks all ripped up. These two have new headwear. This epic flower crown thing is super pretty, and you can clearly see pointed ears. I think we're getting a few different options. Not that I'm expecting to be able to live my full-on elf fantasy, but it would be nice. They all also have new outfits and shoes, and this fairy is pregnant, which I'm hoping signifies that you can have fairy children, because why wouldn't you be able to do that? In this close-up of the blonde fairy, we can see some new plant-themed earrings, and I assume this bedazzling here is some sort of necklace. She shrinks down and magically flies around our main Sim, who finally becomes a fairy herself. We see her glow up and become the fairy from her dreams at the beginning of the trailer. That's everything in the reveal trailer for The Sims 4 Enchanted by Nature expansion pack. The gameplay trailer is coming on June 26th, so we should hear about some more features before the expansion launches on July 10th. So what did you guys think of the trailer? Was there anything you wanted to see but didn't? Like spiral staircases? Let me know in the comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for breakdowns and walkthroughs of Sims content. Thanks for watching, and stay salty.